What's up, guys? It's Techno Viking 23 coming to you today with a little bit of Destiny. And what we're going to actually be doing today is taking a look at some of the vendors in the tower who still offer some pretty solid weapons. And the reason for doing this is when you go to Rise of Iron, when the new expansion comes out, they're most likely going to be replacing the inventories of the tower vendors as they usually do when the new expansions come out. So some of these weapons are probably not going to be able to be obtained anymore, or it's possible they may convert them over to engrams, so you have to go that route to get them. But there are a couple of decent guns that you can get in the tower from the vendors with, the perks are always going to be the same from what they sell. But there are some decent weapons you'll be able to pick up still that you can carry over to Rise of Iron. And of course, the infusion system is staying 1-to-1, so you'll be able to hopefully bring those up to the higher light levels. So we're going to start with New Monarchy. This is the faction that I am currently using on my Titan. I'm rank 19. I'm trying to get to 25 to get the exotic quest to get the class item. I'm not going to be really going over armor here because, for the most part, armor in the game is kind of eh. And, you're going to get so much armor from packages and whatnot. The perks are all going to be pretty out there all over the place. But the weapons, at least, you've got some pretty solid perks on these. And these are what we're going to be mostly concerned with carrying them over to Rise of Iron. Now, I'm not going to go over everything. I'm just going to kind of go through some of these guns. I'm not going to go over them in depth, really, but just show you the ones I would suggest about bringing over to Rise of Iron if you're just looking for something to kind of have a little bit of fun with. So the first gun with New Monarch is going to be the Righteous 7. This is an auto rifle. It's a bullet hose type auto rifle. It's got very low impact but a very high rate of fire. Now, the nice thing about this one is it's got really high stability right out of the box. You've got some nice scope options here with the Suros, and you have perfect balance or oiled frame. You've got lightweight or reinforced barrel, which is what I would suggest using, and you've also got counterbalance. So if you were to run this with reinforced barrel, perfect balance, and counterbalance, you're going to get a very stable weapon that you can just drill headshots with. And I have a similar Righteous 7. I'll actually show you the one I got. I got this as a drop from a New Monarchy package. And it's only 305 right now, but you can see I've got max stability on mine. This was a drop, so I've got hidden hand, I've got small bore, perfect balance, and then using the SLO 12. This has actually been a really solid weapon to use in Crucible. I've used this all through Iron Banner, had really good success with it. You're able to just drill those headshots, just put a ton of ammunition onto a target with really high accuracy. So it's definitely an auto rifle I would suggest picking up if you like auto rifles. Like I said, you'll be able to raise that up to the levels for Rise of Iron, which is pretty nice. Now, the other nice weapon they have is the Burden of Proof 9. Actually, I guess that's 11. Not IX. Got my room and numerals mixed up. But you got some pretty good options here. You got Field Choke. You've also got Aggressive Ballistics. The impact on this isn't spectacular, but it's usable. Rangefinder gives you a little bit more range, which is very important on shotguns. You've got high caliber rounds if you want a little bit more impact, but you do get rifled barrel here, which again gives you a nice little range boost. That's actually what I would suggest using in conjunction with rangefinder. And then you do get final rounds, so last round deals bonus damage. You kind of like to have a smaller magazine, 3 or 4 rounds, to take advantage of that more often, but this is a very solid, average, middle-of-the-road shotgun. If you haven't been able to get a decent shotgun dropped, this one's got some halfway decent perks that help you boost that range out a little bit. And finally, from New Monarchy, I would definitely suggest grabbing the Objection 4 if you are a fan of machine guns. It's very high stability. Impact is pretty solid. Rate of fire is a little bit lower than normal. But this is one of those slow-firing, high-impact machine guns that can do quite a bit of work. I'm probably going to buy one of these before we go into Rise of Iron. You've got some nice scope options here with smooth ballistics to get you a little bit more range, and Field Choke if you want range and impact. But it comes with counterbalance and rangefinder, which also help with stability and range. And then you've got oiled frame and small bore, which actually is what I would suggest using here to boost that range and stability out a little bit more. But very solid machine gun there you can get from New Monarchy. All right, so let's head over to the middle section of the tower. And like I said, I'm not going to be going over all the weapons. I'm just going to be kind of highlighting some of them. I've got experience with quite a few of these, even on PlayStation 4, coming to Xbox One. I don't quite have the arsenal I have on the other side with Xbox One, since I'm starting off pretty much fresh here. But we'll go down here, and we will go see Lord Shax's little pet robot here, and kind of take a look at what he has. Now, there are definitely a lot of different Crucible weapons that you can pick up here, but the main one we're going to talk about, everybody probably already knows this, is the Hawksaw. This is like the bane of my existence, the last Iron Banner. It seemed like the only gun I was getting killed by besides a Mida multi-tool was the Hawksaw. And it's because it's a really overall great pulse rifle. It's a lower impact pulse rifle with a very fast rate of fire. It's very accurate, and skilled players can land a lot of headshots with these. So you've got some pretty nice Suros scope options. You got fitted stock for higher stability. You got oiled frame for faster reload. You got counterbalance again, single point sling, and then small bore. So definitely running this, you would want to go with small bore, counterbalance, and fitted stock, and you're going to get a weapon that pretty much just pumps headshots into people. But a great weapon. I think everybody should probably have one of these. I know people probably get killed, tired of getting killed by it over and over in the Crucible, but if you want to stay competitive and up at that high level, you definitely need to get a Hawksaw. You might be able to get a better roll from a drop, but it's got a pretty solid vendor roll overall. Rune Wake was always a pretty solid machine gun as well. I had one of these, I think, on PlayStation 4. And it's, again, it's a, very stable, low rate of fire, good impact. With this one here, you've got smooth ballistics and field choke, two very good options. Counterbalance again, rangefinder again, high caliber rounds, brace frame, or armor piercing rounds. So really good options here, very comparable to the new Monarchy machine gun, maybe a little bit better. But I remember using Rune Weight quite a bit, and I really enjoyed it. So that's definitely an option. You may want to think about slipping over to get before you go into Rise of Iron. That's going to be it for the Crucible. I know there's a bunch of other weapons there, but I really don't, I'm not going to go through it. The two I think I've pretty much highlighted, in my opinion, which are the two best options there from that vendor. So let's go over to the other side here, and we've got the Vanguard, we've got Dead Orbit, and we also have Future War Cult, and we got a couple weapons over there we definitely will take a look at. So, and again, the purpose of this is just to, if you're maybe looking for something to do in the game before the expansion comes out, you might want to grab a couple of these weapons, just to bring them over, because I think they're still going to be pretty nice and pretty solid when the expansion drops. So here's the Vanguard, and really not too many here I'm going to spend a lot of time talking about. The most popular ones are probably Conspiracy Theory, obviously the 1,000-yard stare. Although the 1,000-yard stare from the Vanguard Quartermaster does not have a super great perk roll on it. This is kind of a useless perk. Oiled frame is kind of useless. Armor piercing rounds are good. Unflinching is decent. And an underdog, but you've got a lot of really not great perks on this weapon. You're much better off trying to get some kind of random roll on it from somewhere else. But that's pretty much the most popular sniper in the game right now. You get killed by that a lot. Same thing with Conspiracy Theory. This was a really, really good shotgun when Taken King first came out. But the perks on this, again, are kind of not the greatest. Reinforced barrel's pretty good, but life support is pretty much useless. And just overall, not a great roll on this shotgun from the vendor, so I would pass for it and try to get a roll on it somewhere else. But the main weapon from here that I really do like is not like the others. Now, some people are probably like, what are you talking about, scout rifle? I actually really like this weapon, and it's got, I think it's better suited for PvP than it is for PvE, because obviously it comes with Third Eye, which to me is more of a Crucible perk. Doesn't really come that in handy when you're playing PvE. You've got bonus damage against Cabal Centurions, which is not really a great perk. That's useful sometimes in Prison of Elders. But you've got Casket Mag, and you also have explosive rounds. And you've got Who's Next, final round of the magazine increases your reload speed, and you've got Third Eye. Now, one of the reasons I like using this in PvP is because with those explosive rounds, you can stagger people and just cause them all kinds of problems. And with this one, you've got a higher impact, slower rate of fire pulse or scout rifle. So I like to use it. It's very accurate, and you can just keep pounding those explosive rounds on people. I use this in Iron Banner. It was pretty fun to use. It's hard to get precision shots, but it's just fun, using those explosive rounds. So more of a fun weapon, but also very good in the hands of an accurate player. One of my favorite scout rifles that's been in Destiny, and it actually has a halfway unique design to it. So another weapon I would suggest picking up if you don't have it. This has got a decent vendor roll on it, in my opinion. I think that's pretty much it from over here. Diluvian's not that, you've got those, higher magazine, really crappy stability on that. But overall, I think that's the best weapon, in my opinion, you can buy from the Vanguard. It's a really fun scout rifle to use. Really enjoy using it. Now let's go over to Dead Orbit. Now when Taken King dropped, Dead Orbit had some really nice weapon rolls. Of course, Bungie did go through and kind of redo the rolls on some of these, so they're not so good. Paleo Contact used to be a decent weapon, but not a huge fan of that. The Hung Jury was really, really solid when it first came out because it had some really, really nice perks on it. But now that's been kind of taken away. So there's not a whole lot from Dead Orbit I would really suggest grabbing. None of these are really all that amazing. The shotgun is not bad, and the sniper rifle is okay. We can take a look at those real quick. You can see with the shotgun, you've got high impact, a little bit lower range, but you do have linear compensator. Final round is nice. Knee pads if you like to slide around. Single point sling, hand loaded, and rifled barrel for more range. So pretty nice shotgun that you could get from the vendor. Again, you may get a better roll on something else, but if you're looking for kind of a serviceable shotgun, this will definitely work for you. And then the other weapon I'd also maybe consider is the sniper rifle. And this is kind of an interesting sniper rifle combination because you get explosive rounds and you also get Firefly, which whenever you get a precision shot makes people explode. So this is one of those lower impact, quicker rate of fire snipers. And if you're someone who likes that type of sniper rifle, this will definitely work for you. You've got the ambush scope there to kind of give you a little bit shorter aim sight. But overall, and it looks cool. I think it's got one of the more unique sniper rifle designs for Destiny. So that's a somewhat serviceable sniper rifle that could be a lot of fun with explosive rounds and Firefly. And last and I guess not least, I don't know, some people may not like Future War Cult. We're going to go upstairs and talk to the FWC and see what they've got. They actually have a rather fun hand cannon. At least they used to. I don't know if they still do or not. And you can see their weapons down here. You got the Vanity. Now, they kind of ruined this. This was a really good... this is actually like the Year 2 Fatebringer, just minus the Elemental when it first came out. It had some really nice perks. Had Firefly on it. Now, the Villainy was a pulse rifle I have had for a while. I actually got this on PlayStation 4 when I first started playing Taken King. It's got one of those older pulse rifle designs, slower firing. Really nice pulse rifle, honestly. You got Head Seeker. You get a couple body shots. You get more precision damage. Perfect balance, and then glass half full. So this has got really, really decent perks on it from the vendor. So something I definitely would suggest checking out. I wasn't a huge fan of the scopes on the vendor version, but overall it's a very solid pulse rifle that's going to do some work for you in PvP. But pretty much that was one of the few weapons they've got that I really thought was any good. They got 2 fusion rifles, which is kind of interesting. They got the variable, and then they've got the vertigo. But overall, not really too much from Future War Cult. They've really slipped quite a bit from the old days when they had my favorite hand cannon of all time, which was the Chance. But yeah, when it was kind of funny because when these vendors all first came out with Taken King, they had some really solid weapons overall. And then about halfway through, Bungie went through and refreshed the perks on all of the vendor weapons, and they really took away a lot of the good ones, especially from Dead Orbit. They had a really awesome scout rifle at one time. So definitely those are some vendor weapons that we just went over, though, that I would definitely check out and see if any of those are ones you might be interested, things you might like to try out to carry over to Rise of Iron. And I'm going to do real quick, I just want to look at one of my favorite weapons since I came back to the game that I wanted to show you guys is something you can get that drops in the Crucible, and this is the AS Luna, or basically it's the baby Hawk Moon, which its name basically means young hawk. So pretty cool hand cannon. I love hand cannons. You guys know that from my older Destiny videos. And the one I got that drops has got hidden hand. It's got hand loaded, explosive rounds, which can be fun. Rifled barrel, which I'll probably wind up using once I get that unlocked. And then spray and play. Some decent scope options there. But I really like this hand cannon. It's really fun to use. It feels just like Hawkmoon in a way. But I've been doing really well with it in the Crucible. And I use it for PvE as well. So that drops from the Crucible playlists. That's the only place I've seen it. I think you can get it from Engrams too. But for me, it dropped while actually playing Rumble. There's also the Red Spectre, which is a legendary version kind of Suros Regime, which is a pretty good gun too. So if you're going after those, definitely go out there and then jump into the Crucible playlist, and hopefully you'll get lucky and get a decent drop. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Again, I just wanted to kind of go over some of the vendor weapons that are still out there that you might want to grab before Rise of Iron comes out. Again, I'm not all big on the preparation and all that. Want to actually be able to enjoy some of the content for a while when it comes out. But definitely, if you're looking for some guns you might want to carry over, think about picking up some of those. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for me. As always, welcome your comments down below. If there's some other weapons that you like that you're thinking about grabbing, definitely let me know down there. And I hope you guys are having a great day. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll see you again next time.